Miss Mary, I'm out here getting it in. Oh, I like this, how you can see my shadow. You don't have to see actual me. This is nice. Out here getting it in. It is a little after 9, um, 11 minutes after. Gonna walk for an hour. Today is my anniversary. Been married 36 years. This is my second marriage. The first one was a 10-year relationship. I wasn't married the whole 10 years, but I was in the relationship around 10 years. So here's my take on marriage. I think after 36 years, I should have a little something to say about it. Huh? I love marriage. I love the concept of it. I love the fact that two people can come together and build something together. And I'm not just talking about material things, but they can come together and build, you know, build each other, make each other better people. Have you ever noticed when two couples are together, and I mean really together, they complement each other? I've seen that where they complement each other. You know what I mean? And you could tell when they have each other's back. I think a lot of people stand on marriage right now is very negative, or shall I say, people are opting out and saying they don't want it. But I think a lot of it goes back to what I said before. A lot of stuff is based on your experience and your opinion and what you have experienced. Now, had we been talking and if I was still married to my first husband, I would say absolutely not. Absolutely not. Do not get married. But I had a very bad experience with marriage, with him as an individual, as a person. But even when I had that bad experience with him as an individual and as a person, I did not let my heart get hard to the point that I wasn't open. Now you have to remember, Miss Mary had 4 children. And so I was prepared. I had told God I was prepared to raise my children by myself. Because with 4 kids, what are your chances of marrying? And not only marrying, but marrying a good person? Oh no, that's not going to happen. So I was already prepared to just raise my children by myself. Now, my heart was not cold or hadn't turned, but I prayed for a lot of healing, because, like I said, I was in a bad marriage. I I wanted to love again. I didn't want to be bitter and hateful, because let me just say this too, that I have seen good marriages between a couple of my aunts, and I've seen bad marriages. My aunt and uncle that raised me, they had a bad marriage, a very bad marriage. So I grew up seeing the man dominate because he worked and she didn't. Her opinion didn't mean anything. He never acknowledged the value that she brought to the relationship. The cleaning, the cooking, the taking the kids and being there for him and supporting him. He never saw the value in that stuff. So I've seen good marriages and I've seen bad marriages, and I had been in a bad one myself. But even at that, I still didn't have a distaste for marriage. I never felt like, oh, I'll never get married again. I just knew that it could work with the right person. I just knew that it could be different with the right person. And so I thank God for sending Mr. Harvey into my life, you know, when he came along in my life, accepted me, accepted the children as his own, you know, embraced us. So if you find the right person, you know, it can work. You can do 36, you can do 40 years, you can do 46 years, you can do 50 years. And I wouldn't even say the secret like people say, oh, what's the secret to a good marriage? There is no secret. But I will say this. When you find that person that just lets you be you, even though you're constantly changing, because he's going to change and you're going to change too. That person that allows you to be who you are, that's half the battle there. Along with trust, you have to have trust in the marriage. Because I've been in a marriage where there was no trust. And let me tell you, baby, that's a miserable way to live. You don't trust a person when they say they go into the store and you don't believe them. That's bad. Because the stuff that it plays on your psyche, your thoughts, wonder where he at. He lying, he don't even go to no store. Or wonder where she at. She lying, she know she ain't go to no store. And then when she comes back or he comes back, because you've been sitting there for 30 minutes to an hour thinking that he's lied to you. So when he does, he or she comes back, you're going to check for evidence to make sure that they went where they said they was going to go. I wouldn't want to live like that. I wouldn't want to live like that. And I'm going to say this to the ladies. I say it like this. I tell my husband, if you think that there's something better out there than what you got right here, you go for it. You go for it, Billy, Henry, whoever you are. You go for it. Because I know that I've given everything I have. I know that I've been the best wife that I could be. You know, not perfect, but the best that I could be. So when you have that confidence in yourself, and the same thing that my husband said to me, my husband often says, we've asked each other, would you remarry again if something happens to me? My husband says no. He says no. But he's older than I am. But right now he says no. I don't know. When we go to lunch for our anniversary, I'm going to ask him. But he says no. But I don't say no. I say yes. I would. But then he tells me, no, you wouldn't. And I said, why you say that? He said, because you spoil. I spoiled your butt. And ain't nobody going to want to be bothered with you and your spoilness. I said, oh, so you set me up, huh? So that nobody else would want me. And he said, yeah, I gave you all I had. So when you know that you've given all that you have to the relationship, you can find peace in that. You can find healing in that. And you can just rest in it. You know. And I tell you something else. When you find somebody who will accept you with all your faults, know the good, the bad, and the ugly about you, and still want to love you, and still want to be with you, you know. And we know our faults. You know how short-tempered you are. You know how in the morning you don't want to speak and talk to nobody. You know all those little quirky ways you have? That person has to learn that about you and still say, you know what? I'm a morning person, but Joanne isn't. So I just let her be. You got to learn how to read the room when you want to stay married. Like me, I know that there's a time to bring up certain topics or to say certain things to my husband. I know when it's a good time and when it's a bad time. Why? Because I've been with him a long time. Sometimes when the kids want to ask for something, I say, you better not take that to him right now. It's going to be a no for sure. Just wait a little while. So you know and you learn. You learn each other. And marriage is a good thing when the two people are committed to each other. And when the two people know that it's me and you, baby, against them. It's not you and I against each other. Once you learn that you're working together and that you guys are in this for each other, that I'm batting 100 for you and you batting 100 for me, you know. Now, let's talk about that 50-50 thing. Or should I even open up that can of worms? We don't do 50-50. We don't. We do ours. Our money, our house, our whatever. It's ours. It's not his and mine. It's not, I got this, you got that. If I'm broke, he broke. If he broke, I'm broke. You know. Now, that does not say that we don't each have some money. You know, I remember when I first married my husband, and we didn't have a lot of money at all. And so what we would do is we would get an allowance, then pay the bills. So $100, I don't even think it was that much at that time. 36 years ago, it might have been 50. You get 50, I get 50. Maybe it was 100. You get 100, I get 100. And that $100 was yours. It was not for me. It didn't include my hair. It did not include buying things for the house. It was mine. If I wanted to buy me a dress, if I wanted to, whatever I wanted to do with it, it was mine to do what I want. If I wanted to save it, I had the right to do that. It was my money, nobody else's money, and he had money. So him getting a haircut, which I started cutting their hair because we didn't have enough money, and we had 3 boys plus him. So I learned how to cut hair so that we would budget my hair in with the bills. And then I would do the girls' hair. But he always said, you need to go get your hair done. That's your time when you can enjoy and let somebody take care of you. You know, I was telling my son, the youngest one, the other day, for your dad to be an old soul, he was such a wise man. And I'm still just in awe of how he is comfortable in his skin as a man. Oh my God, it's so powerful, you know. And life has changed though. My husband has some illness, so I'm more of a caregiver now. Life has changed. I have to open his door. He can't open my door, you know. So, but it's okay because I told him, you opened my door for 30 years, 30 plus years, I'm gonna say that. Just over the last couple of years, he hasn't been able to open my door. But I know that that bothers him too, that he can't do what he used to do. But do I make him feel bad? Of course not. I just say, honey, If you can get you in the car, I can get me in. And then we can get on down the road. So life will change. Nothing will stay the same. And if you're expecting, oh, I mean, if I start acting, well, you used to open my door, and I want you to open my door. Now, you've got to learn how to change with times. He's going to change. You're going to change. Physically, things change. You got to be up for challenges and up for changes. If you're not up and you think the way y'all started out this way is always going to be, you know how they said, the way you start out is the way you got to keep it going. Well, there's a little bit of truth to that when you're young. Like if you started out giving her flowers for her birthday and taking her out for the anniversary, there's some truth to that. But maybe now you got to call and order the flowers because you can't go pick them up. And maybe now you've got to get takeout for the anniversary dinner. So what? That just changed, did it not? We have to be open for change. If you're not open for change, because things will change with you. Who's to say that I won't get sick? You know, it's not always him. He might get sick and he has to change. You might get sick and things has to change. Maybe you've been the one that's cooking, doing all the cooking. And let's say you get sick. Now he has to change, you know. My wife can't do it anymore. I have to do it. We have to stay open for change. So, Miss Mary been talking. This is my anniversary. We're going to go out for lunch/brunch and just have a good time and just enjoy each other. So this is Miss Mary coming in to say marriage does work.